Hey guys, it's Grunt, and today we're going to be taking a look at something very special here in my Minecraft account. Now what we're going to be taking a look at here today is something very special and very ancient. How do I want to explain this? It's such a weird topic to go over. If you kind of want to get an idea for like exactly where I got the basis for this video and like a little more in-depth understanding of like how this was all put together, I'll link down the description below, as well as maybe at the end of this video with one of the little import things, a link to remember Brad UHD's video about this topic, because he goes a lot more into depth on like how this all goes together with like an editing tool and putting together like 360 world files saves like from Minecraft on the Xbox 360, as well as like Java world saves and other Bedrock saves.
That I actually combined all of them into one. What I did is I converted all of the Xbox 360 worlds to the Java edition of Minecraft. And I used like MC selector tool to actually like copy and paste all the worlds together into one.
You get the idea. Just melding together like all these old world save files from different accounts and whatnot to like put into an editor or something like that, and then kind of connect all these different worlds together on one map. I don't know. I haven't looked a whole lot into it yet. I'm just pretty much gonna go ahead and give you like kind of like a history tour today of all my old worlds, and I'll kind of like give certain information about each one of these maps, and then we'll just go from there. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll start from here. Bear with me guys, because it's been a while since I've recorded a video. Now, to get a basis of how this is all laid out in my world, from like that corner where that tower is over there is like pretty much the entirety of this map. Because when Brad set this up for me, he kind of just saved the maps in a weird rectangle-y, chunky type of shape. It's got an odd shape, we'll just say that. But this whole map, to kind of give an idea of it, it's from about around, I want to say 2014. So it's a pretty old map. It came from my previous Xbox account. Now for these two things, I have really not too much of an idea where they came from, why they're here. I mean, I kind of know about this one a little bit. This one's a complete mystery. This is like some kind of igloo type thing. The door's bugged, apparently. And this is what I'm pretty sure is supposed to be like a model of Tobuscus' Minecraft house, because I was a bit of a Tobuscus fan back in the day when he was making that good slapping content. But yeah, I kind of tried to build it here. I've actually had much better builds, much more like in-depth and quality versions of his house built in the past, which were actually pretty darn good, like pretty close. But yeah, that's all I'll say on this little area for now. This floating redstone crap. A lot of the worlds that I have here from the 360 at one point or another, we had put into creative and just kind of messed with. Like this tower over here and this have a small story to it of us just building like TNT cannons and just blowing the crap out of my town for whatever reason. Me, Josh, or whatever his YouTube name was, and Bradley and me. Just kind of messing around with that. This is kind of new, this whole flattened out area here. This was not there many moons ago, back in the year of 2014 to 2015. In that sort of span. So I just kind of flattened this out because there might be more videos coming on this world at some point. I'm not sure yet. I really have no idea. I've been trying to work out some different things to do with Minecraft, because I'd love to be able to make some kind of series or some set of videos or something like that for you guys, because I had off and on for the longest time, small Minecraft type videos on the channel that were eventually just completely eradicated and no longer exist. I don't think that we have anything outside of that one live stream that I have to fit into any Minecraft playlist because I deleted them all. Because to be fair, a good amount of those videos were not that good, except for a few little series we tried to do on online servers. But there's not really much to tell with that because they're gone. All that weird rambling aside, let's get into the actual explanations behind these structures and cities and stuff. So the name of this actual world map on the account it came from, I called it the Resort of the North. I have no idea why. I don't think this was even in the north part of the map, but it's just the name that I chose for it. And we'll go ahead and maybe take a look starting here. This world had a lot of different people come in and out of it because this was around the time that I actually had quite a few people on Xbox that wanted to join me, which was a rare occasion. It didn't happen a whole lot. Much more than it does on nowadays Xbox whole existence of people, because gaming just doesn't seem to be nearly the same as it was back in the day. It was much more glorious back then. Much nicer. You could just kind of meet people and just have a good time and just play. Minecraft should have had much more of an open, like, lobby type thing going for people to join random people's worlds and stuff, because I feel like that would have been even better. Again, I went on a complete random ramble, but this is just kind of like a hut. Some dude built this. Don't remember his name. Don't know why. Just a little lapis underground thing. I didn't destroy it because, I don't know, reasons. Been so long ago, I couldn't tell you really. But I built this little thing around it just to kind of keep that entrance intact and discoverable. And then there's this little glass thing here, which actually is kind of like a little homage tomb type thing that I built to kind of represent one of my first Xbox 360 friends ever is World, from playing with them on Minecraft. And I even made a little tiny, what do you want to call this? Not really sure. But it's kind of just from what I could remember and what I could actually build that would be accurate to what his world was like. You would spawn in the water next to this beach. And it was a really nice beach. Like, it literally, this is practically exactly what it looked like. It was like a perfect beach. He probably, like, went through and hand made this so smooth and whatnot. But, yeah, it was pretty cool. And then it would go kind of up a little, like, hill here and then lead into a huge town. And it had that really classic Minecraft feel-good energy to it, where it was just like all the random newbie type houses and some people that were like trying to build fancy houses, but like it just wasn't as easy back then because it was a simpler Minecraft world. They didn't have like all the fancy angled stairs and all the other cool things we had because it was a much earlier version. Because the world, when I played with him, was probably around 2011, 2012. So it was early Minecraft. But yeah, that kind of does it for this little area. It's very cool. It'd blow my mind if the dude actually seen this video, but I highly doubt that. That's like a unbelievably low chance. But can you imagine though? That'd be crazy. Then we got our roads. They're basic. I just kind of went for brick and gravel, of course. Got this little area here. I don't know why I built this. Probably just because I couldn't think of like a house or an actual building design. It's just kind of a little bush area with more bushes around it. I went to try to build the best city enclosed town type thing I could. And built this. There isn't a whole lot to say about this little tower here. I have no idea why I built it. I don't know, like, I didn't like look up anything to build this. I don't believe it's just, it's so basic that it'd blow my mind if I did. But it's supposed to be like a skyscraper or something like that, and just kind of give it a more of like a city vibe, as well as some different flags that I've placed around recently, like the cool little God of War flag and my original flag from Java when they dropped the banner type things. It's very, 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 very basic tower though, as you can see. Maybe I'll eventually do something with it if I decide to play and do more videos on this world for you guys. We'll go around and update everything and make it feel alive again. Or whatever. And then next to it, there's a little lighthouse. I actually kind of got this design from another map that we're going to take a look at. You guys will see what I'm talking about very soon. But honestly, this looks pretty darn cool. I was pretty proud of this little tower, little lighthouse thing. I mean, its placement makes no sense, but it's still cool that it's here. The interior's kind of funky and weird. It's got that like old, like wacky Minecraft classic feel to it. If you get what I mean. I'm going to be probably saying that a lot, do you get what I mean? Because I don't even know if I get what I mean. But it's got that going for it. It's kind of cool. And then it's got our little road here with our railroad on it. And it connects to these different houses and stuff. And it runs through our town here. But we'll stop here at this house, because this is actually the first thing that was built in this entire area. Like, this was the first house that was placed here in the city before there were walls or anything. I actually remember building this based off of the Minecraft construction handbook, I want to say. I think that's the right one. And it had this house. If you look at the construction handbook, or you have one, it should be in there. And that's exactly what I based it off of. And then there's a few little extra additions that I put onto it as well, to just kind of give my own feeling to it. But it's a very cool house. I like this house. We'll go ahead and take a look inside of it here. Because of course the inside, it's all my own design, because they didn't really do like a fleshing out of the inside. It's got a TV, kind of. Got a TV, probably some speakers, and a chair. A nice little library bookshelf type thing going here. Not too bad. It doesn't look terrible, actually. It's pretty decent. More flags. Little ceiling light. More flags, more flags. You'll see these flags all over the place. This refrigerator. Don't know why, but there's mushroom eggs in it. So I guess that's a thing. Really weird. Then we've got an enchanting table here of all places, with some bookshelves under the stairs. That wasn't one thing that I always did. If there was ever a time where there's stairs going to a second floor, it had to have bookshelves under it. It's just a thing that I always did. I'm assuming there's probably more people than just me that did that. And then we got the upstairs, a little newer. You guys might recognize, it's got the bamboo flooring. It's actually really nice. I like that. And then I got a modern style bed and a little end table type thing here. Not looking too bad. Another TARDIS thing stuffed in here. Those will be all over the town as well, the little TARDIS things. It's got a nice little walk around, wrap around here. Nice, you can get a view, come out here, check out the town, see what's going on. There's nobody here. It's barren and empty and sad and quiet. No one in the house, no one in the whole town. And then as you can see, it's got a little walkway that leads around the back here. It's actually really cozy. It's a really cozy little area down here. A little chair. It's almost impossible to imagine actually sitting in. And of course our little tiny pool in the back with a secret hole, which I will get to here shortly. The little hedge maze type thing, almost. Then there's these iron golems. These dudes are old. They've been here since the world existed, which is like really wacky. It's fun to think about. Like, they've literally been around that long. And we've got this nice little smokestack here. No, more recent build, because before, as you can tell, it was just the cobwebs. And another TARDIS hiding back there. Again, and a very big Doctor Who fan back in the day. And there's something else hiding there, which we will also get to. But yeah, and then there's this little area here, which we will also get to. They all tie in together. You guys will see very shortly. Just bear with me here. We'll check out this place next. This is kind of like a library building, or something like that. You guys will see here in a second when we go in. It's got like a little waterfall in here, which doesn't look too bad. You can tell I kind of like touched it up here and there with some things. And as we loop around the building here, it's got a very basic shape. Very basic. It's got some pillars and whatnot. But yeah. That's all I can really say for that. Heading inside, also very barren, empty, and basic. And once again, here is the stair bookshelves I was talking about again. Which then leads up to this little library thing. I don't know if I ever actually really intended for this to be like a library or more just like an enchanting house or something. I don't know, it's really weird. I have no idea what I was thinking when I was originally building this house. A lot of it was probably just, we need to have more buildings in the town to make it feel more lively. It was the only thing I could think to build. This thing was some kind of like water tower thing, but it's not really a water tower as much as just like a water cube holder thing. Kind of weird, very weird. A lot of the buildings and stuff are gonna be fun, weird fun. And then there's this water, like, castle, kind of castle, like a water throne room. That's a better way to describe it, because it's essentially just the throne room. There's no extra castle to it. It's just a castle sort of shape on the outside, and just one big throne room. This was actually probably a little more inspired from around the time that I pretty much idolized like the whole Noob Adventure series. If you guys haven't watched that, it's very good. If I remember, I'll link a video of theirs in the description so you guys can go kind of check it out and see what I'm talking about. Because I used to rock the whole Gaylord Steambass skin and everything. That's kind of where my banner design came from, was that whole series, because it was just so good. Like, I remember watching that, like, every time they drop a new upload. It was fantastic. If you guys haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. And then we've got Tander's banner here, which if you couldn't already tell, it's kind of based off of Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls, I believe. And it's kind of cool. I always thought his banner was pretty unique and decent. But yeah, it's a little throne room thing. Got like the basic throne room vibe going for it. I really don't understand what my thought process was for the water and why there's water filling up this like big dining room table thing. It's the most random, weird design choice ever. I feel like it was originally intended to have like a moat, but then it probably just got out of control and just became this. I don't know why, and as you can see, there's also something weird going on with the banners and the water. But yeah, it's something. Hopefully I'm still keeping on track here, bro. I really don't know. And then it's got this little area in the back, little like overgrowth, kind of like pretty forest, like swamp type stuff going on here, which is all built around just this little grate, which was kind of like where the water would run through or something like that. And we'll come back to that area after we do this house here, because there's not a whole lot for me to speak on this house. Another random person that joined my world built this. It's got a pretty decent design, honestly. It doesn't look too bad. It's got a little pool in the back. Nice little basic pool. And I put some trees behind here as well to kind of clear up that empty space and kind of have it a little more filled out instead of just being barren flat land. But we'll spin around here to the front. You know, somebody just kind of like wanted to build a house, and it turned out pretty decent actually. Like, it's a pretty nice little place. We'll drop down here and just kind of take a walkthrough of it. It's completely empty pretty much on the inside. Like, they didn't flesh it out at all for the inside, but the outside I feel like is probably what their main focus was on. Gosh. We'll take a look at this place next, because this is actually a house that I built that's based on one of my buddy Brad's original Minecraft houses, which was one of the worlds that he had that we used to play on a lot. What is going on here? How did that happen? That's not right. That's weird. That needs to be fixed. But yeah, it's kind of a basic design on the outside if you look at it pretty much. Like, it's just it's a stone brick kind of like square shape with a little farm on top here, of course, because you got to have your farm somewhere. You might as well add it onto the house. I don't know if his design was exactly like this. I just kind of built this on here like more recently because I just remembered that he did have a farm. But we had two different versions because there was two different worlds where he had built this, where one was in the back and then there was one that was on the roof. And we'll actually go inside and take a look at it. There's some more flags. As you can tell, I had a lot of fun splapping these around everywhere. The first room is, of course, the bedroom. Bradley's fancy bed and all of our peasant beds that we would sleep in. And moving into this next room here, this is the probably the finest room in the entire house, where we would spend a majority of our time, the chest room and the hangout room, where we would jam out to our favorite CD, which was Chirp, and just kind of go AFK and just hang out in here and talk in the Xbox chat for hours and hours, and just, you know, have a good, fun, friendly time. And of course we got it can't be a perfect house without a furnace room, and what a furnace room this is. Just a wall of furnaces and of course a lava wall in case you need to incinerate some things. And there's also this little tunnel, which I don't think ever became anything in the actual build that was on his world. So this, of course, was mostly based off my memory of the house. I don't know if it's exactly 100% the same as he had it, but I tried to get it as close as I could. Here in this next room we have a whole layout of food dispensers. I always thought this was kind of an interesting room because instead of just having like a chest that's dedicated to food items, he went all out and just put a bunch of dispensers, labeled them with each food item, and then that was just how you got your food. You just stored it in here, put some food in there, and then bang. Interesting, very interesting. And then the last room here, I just kind of turned this into my own take of just being a loom room, because at one point I remember this was where he would have had enchanting and then maybe some potion brewing, but I couldn't remember exactly how it was laid out, so it just kind of became a loom room. And then of course you got the lovely wool design in the hallways, combined with the nice little checkered floors. Moving on to this house over here, this is actually one of Tandy's builds, which was supposed to be a little farm. As you can kind of tell looking at it here, it's got its little area for his actual crops. Of course, all of the animals he had are long gone. They despawned or something else like that. And then he has a little opening area here to walk in. There would have been a fence that ran along here to finish that out, but I knocked that completely out to have an extra road that runs through and connects a few different things. Kind of like a little alley walkway to connect to the main road. But if we come inside of his house here, on his floor he has a little MLP sign, because Tander was a big MLP fan. And yeah, so that's always kind of cool. Got that there. He had some villagers that were in here, but I had to brutally slaughter them because apparently, from what I was told, any villagers that came over from like these worlds being like melded together were very dangerous and could like freeze the game or something like that. Moving on to one of our last houses in the town, actually, which darn, we kind of flew through that pretty quick, it feels like. But this last house is actually very much more intentionally based off of the whole Gaylord steam bath kind of feeling to it. As you can see when we first come in, the grand staircase and nothing else, because I was never much for an interior decorator. And then we come up into another room, which is very barren as well. And here's another one of those stair bookshelf combination things going on. In one actual room, which has pretty much nothing in it. Just an empty chest, bed. Not too bad, but it's just bare. A lot of it's bare. Could really use an interior decorator to come run through here and update all this and make it nicer, but... And then we've got a restroom on the 3rd floor here. Coming into the restroom, we've got some sinks. I have no idea what the idea behind this restroom was supposed to be. Whether it's like some kind of weird cross between like a public or something. Well, I don't know. Because this is like a shower. You flip this little switch and then, you know, you get to take your shower. Or drown yourself, whatever you want to do. And then on the other side is the toilet. Gotta make sure you have the flusher. Of course. Just a little bathroom. It's a little added thing, I guess. Every house needs a good bathroom. And then here's our main TV watching throne, which is looking kind of goofy over here. I don't know what's up with that. And it looks like they are watching or playing some Donkey Kong, something like that. Kind of interesting. And then a little food bar over here. Then we got this nice little balcony out here, which is very nice. It's been lathered up with plenty of banners surrounding it. And if we take a look around the rest of the property, it has a little bit of gravel that runs around the back. The TV thing sticking out the wall here. And then some trees and stuff I planted to make it look a little more filled. And then we have this amazingly huge staircase that runs all the way up here to this little tiny bridge at the top to connect us to this wizard tower. If we take a look at this wizard tower, it's got a fun little funky top and an extension on the outside here. Very basic-y cobblestone thing going on here to try and make it look old. Obviously, when I built this, I didn't care too much at all about how it looked on the inside because it doesn't even have a floor put into it. It's got some ladders that run up and a small little room for you to hang out in here and craft and such. And take a look out your window at this amazing view. And what a view it is. It does look pretty good. It's a pretty decent view. And then the main portion of this tower, which I feel like maybe I built it just to be a nether portal place, is the nether portal, which I'm not going to go into because there is nothing in there. The nether portal and all the stuff that was in the nether did not come over with the rest of the world when it came over here. And then I suppose it's not really in the town, but it's right next to the town. Another TARDIS over there, by the way. Is the almighty 110% person-proof Cameron Tower. And it wouldn't be complete without a secret hidden entrance. As you can see, the intricate design behind this is that you would never know how to get in through here because it's completely filled with lava. And of course, you can't just like plug the lava up and come through. So, of course, the only way in is through this secret enclosure that is not so secret since I did this, where you wander through his wonderful diamond and iron tunnel to get to his fake outdoor. Kaplow. See, this closes it off and puts dirt over the front, so it's completely hidden on the outside. And then inside, he is safe to do whatever. But if that was open and people did manage to get in, as you can kind of get an idea of what's going on here, he would have another lever, which I believe was somewhere around here. He has this little bedroom. It's kind of like a fake out house, essentially. If somebody managed to get through there and they got inside of here and thought they were going to get into his tower, they'd have to think again, because that's the lever. This would close up and be completely sealed with a back wall and make you think that this little side room and this little enchanting zone is the entire house. Which is it's kind of creative of him. I'm not going to lie, it's not too bad. I kind of think that it's an interesting design. But yeah, and then there's that, and then there's his actual bottom base where he would have all of his loot and so on stuck in here, as well as a little escape route, which ties back to the thing that we haven't looked at yet in the town. And of course, the actual access to the tower. So you come up here to the top, we get this gorgeous view that lets you see out throughout the entire area, all the way across the entire world, pretty much. And then with a flick of a couple levers, it seals him in on the bottom half, and that closes up the bottom, like, blast door type things. Pulling that seals the rest of it in and kicks on his big ol' light here. So now he's in his little panic room bunker type thing, completely safe. And at one point, it's not here anymore, so it must have been changed, but at one point during creative, I remember he even had some little guns that were on the outside that fired out TNT, more lava buckets, and like gas and stuff and blazes. To just, kind of be a nuisance. Really get you. Just really get everything. But for the last piece of this map, all ties in here with this tunnel. As you will see, this tunnel comes out from underneath Cameron's base. It runs all the way down here to this little contraption, which doesn't connect to anything anymore, because it doesn't do anything anymore. And it's underneath this little area here. Yeah, there's nothing that's connects to it. I think it did something at one point, but that changed somewhere down the line. We have this little ladder here, which lets him sneak up into this house. Very stealthily sneak into this house. And then it goes down further in through another area, which we won't touch yet because I'm not sure if that's the last spot. I feel like this was intended to be a bomb, honestly. But this leads kind of underneath my house a little bit, as you can tell by that floor design. I don't think this was ever anything. I think this is just like a mine or a cave or something that we had. But yeah, the way that he would describe this himself would be like a moliosis tunnel, which is something that Cameron was famous for back in the day. Was just making tunnels that go everywhere, all throughout the map, and lets you just kind of sneak in and steal from people, like get into their chest, get in their house, crouch, sneak in, they won't know you're there, and just kind of, to screw with people. That was like his whole thing. That was his shtick. That's what he did. And then that gives you an opening into this little underground space, which was what we seen kind of poking out from the ground earlier. I have no idea what this was originally meant to be, so we'll just kind of leave it at that. It's just a little tunnel thing. And then if you climb up the vines, this takes you into my little backyard here, as well as this opening here in the water, the pool should take you into another one of his little moliosis things. This should have had like vines, but I think they're just gone. I don't think he ever finished it though, because obviously it's not connected to every house in the town. Then there's this little opening that's down here in front of another bush that lets you kind of sneak in up through here into this little tiny, what I think was intended to be like a bush maze, but isn't really much of a maze anymore. And when you get to the center, there's another TARDIS and some more stuff for you to get access to. And wow, that pretty much does it for our first town. The little door will eventually become something else. I was going to build like maybe a boat dock or something over there. Probably not going to do anything with anything over there. And just keep building out and making these walls bigger is kind of my plan for this place. But we're going to go ahead and call it a wrap on the Resort of the North map and follow our main road here to our next destination. As we travel down our little road here, you'll see one extra little bit sticking out here, which is another TNT cannon, which is from one of the actual books, I do believe. Of course, we got some more of these pretty trees running along our road here. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Before I leave, I'll show you guys this poor, poor village that got decimated and turned into like an SCP facility almost, as we've got a beacon, an end portal, freaking even got some bedrock as well. And if we go all the way down this ladder to the bottom, we get Cameron's little SCP bunker where we trapped the Wither inside of here and murdered him. And then moved down this hallway, and each of these rooms would have had a different mob in it, I do believe, and you could just kind of view each of them, which is something. It's kind of cool. It wasn't insanely big, it's just got like these little fake hallways to make it seem like it's bigger than it really is. And as we take a look at this, you can see you can ride on your minecart all the way down to this dock, and then from there, the world is your oyster. You can go wherever you want. The ice road will take you all the way down through here to where we're going to tour our next world, which, if you couldn't already tell by this lovely tower here, is the original Minecraft Xbox 360 tutorial world. Now, for you guys that didn't play on Xbox, this is essentially like what a lot of people would have seen back then when they first got on, and it's just so great. It's so nostalgic to see this, because you would have gotten on your first time on Minecraft, and this is what you would have been able to explore, was the lovely tutorial worlds that they would make. And they've made so many, and all of them are fantastic, but this one is truly a classic masterpiece. So of course I had to have it in my world. They show you the furnace. They introduce you to the furnace here, as well as introducing you to boats and being able to do that. And I think this one was fishing. Yeah, little fishing area. And of course, it runs you through all the basics of how to play the game and build a house and turn this into your first place to spend the night. And then eventually you get to wander out through here and go explore the tutorial world, which had this lovely little sign here with a little flag Easter egg hiding in it. And at some point or another, they even had a nether portal that hidden here when they first dropped that, I believe. But it's just so nostalgic, and it's so great to come through here and explore the original tutorial world with all these little village houses that existed far before villagers had ever even been produced into the game. And this would be one of the places that we would always come to call home, is this little house here, because it's just so darn nice. And you get all these little village houses with a bed in it, and it's just an abandoned little village that you can explore with this cool little well in it. Of course, we got another dock here which will take you to some of the other worlds, but we're not quite done here just yet. We'll look at the castle, which we have this little area here they built that would have been the little minecart system to take you to the castle, which is very, very nice. Very cool. This is such a great map. And then we have the castle, which of course you can see I've come through and decorated with some more of my banners because I just couldn't help myself. We got these little towers at the front gate. And a little hole which we'll explore here in a second. It'd be really, I think at one point this gate did close. I feel like it did, but I could be wrong. But yeah, this is a really nice little castle. I always thought this was a really fine, decent castle that they had here. Really cool design. Got a really good Minecraft feel to it. And I feel like this was some kind of church, because of the way it's built. Church kind of thing, maybe. Maybe you guys know, I don't know, it's kind of cool. Cool little building. A little something to have here in the castle. We've got the actual tower here, which I'll walk up. Got a nice little stairwell that runs throughout, and you get a view out here to your world. Explore around, and there's another little place opening that you can come out and get better viewage of your world. Then you come up into the top of the tower, which ain't got too much going on with it, but it's good. It's something. You can come out and get a view, and of course more flags. Then this little building down here in the center takes you down to a little dock area for your boats and such, which is very nice. I remember even in one update, they would have had a little room somewhere out here in the water you could see that would have a chest full of diamond armor and stuff in it that you could get, which was always kind of cool. It's nice that they gave you that. I actually never even noticed this. This is weird. What is this? Just a little tiny opening? There was a little window hiding there I've never seen before in my entire freaking life. And then there was this little hidden area down here, which kind of like lets you get underneath the castle from the outside, I guess. Very weird. I don't know what the reason for adding this ever was, if it's some kind of like dungeon or what. But I believe that's the same area that connects on the outside over here. So you kind of, yeah, it's the same thing. You can drop down in there, as we've got more basic village houses and a few unique little structures, like this little barn and its little tiny wheat field that it had outside, and this cozy little cabin house here with a fireplace in it. Very nice. Gives you that super duper nostalgic classic Minecraft feel exploring these little areas. And then there was that minecart right here, this random minecart. This has so much mystery behind it. I want to know more. I'm sure there's probably a video or more out there on YouTube that talk about this existing. There's got to be something about it. It's just so weird because it was always there. And then there's only one more structure on this map, and that is behind this little waterfall they have here, actually, from the little tutorial section to this little lighthouse that's just out here in the middle of the water. Nice little floating lighthouse. And there's no way to like really get up into it or anything. There's just kind of the one room. But it's kind of cool that it's here. This is kind of here. Like, you wouldn't know unless you explored that this was hiding back here. And there's one more thing that I'm going to show you guys on this tutorial map before we move on to the next thing. It's not an actual structure, but it's just something that's just like stuck with me for the longest time with this world. It's like a known fact, is that over here in this little cave next to that splap of ice, if you wander down in through this cave in the right way, and you find your way around here just right, you should find an opening that practically takes you straight to diamond. You find this little opening after exploring the cave for a very short time. I believe the opening is from over here, actually. Either way, there's supposed to be a really, it's a really quick route to get down here, and you just find this diamond. And it's like the easiest, quickest diamond you could get in the game. And then I'll go ahead and open this up, and as you can see, there's more back here. But it gets even better if you explored and got those diamonds in this little tiny area. They had even more. And you'd get these and then go down and find even more diamond, and it was fantastic. I remember me and my friends having many fun times starting a new tutorial world and seeing who could get to the diamond first. But yeah, So that pretty much does it for the tutorial map, as you can see. And we could go over to one of those areas next, but I think we'll just go ahead and follow the dock here, kind of how I intended it to be. So from our dock, we have more of these poles, which I made to kind of make it easier for people coming into this world to kind of be able to find these structures, because they're not going to be like all 100% like right next to each other, because the map sizes vary. But we have these little docks, and you can kind of follow the torches and the placed blocks and stuff, and it leads you to the different areas of the world, the little history buildings. And following this one takes you to another 360 world of mine, which isn't crazy big, but it's kind of nice to have, because this is one of my Minecraft worlds that I had for the few years when I did not have internet or anything. So Minecraft was just what I had to spend my time on. And it was actually really nice to have this little place. I could actually like just sit and enjoy grinding through the actual game instead of doing all the other wacky things. It was build your house, your farm, go explore the nether, all that kind of stuff. But it's a basic house. There's not too much to tell about it. It's got itself wedged here in this little hillside. I had it opened up here. I don't remember what exactly was going to come of this. I think maybe I had a horse up here at one point, and I was maybe going to put my enchanting things up here, but that did not happen that way. And maybe build more out here as well. And then I'll go ahead and touch on this over here, which is just essentially a chicken coop house. It was going to become a different house entirely for me to like live in, but for some reason I just turned it into a place where I kept chickens. Again, we've got our little farm out here. The little sugarcane farm over here as well. Next to this nice little area of water. What is that? That's interesting. It's the first time I've seen that. That's how you can tell where these worlds are melding together, because of this wacky ice thing going on here. But this world, not as big. It's about around, I would say, 2017 to 2018 world here. Maybe some into 2016. So it was a world that I had for a good few years and played on for a good few years. Oh, and I forgot to mention the tutorial world, I want to say was like 2011 for the year on that. And I played on that. Not that particular one that we have, but like that tutorial map in general for a long time. Many worlds made surrounding that. Lots of wacky, fun adventures. We got our little enchanting room that's down here. And then the one thing that was kind of unique about this little cave thing attached to the house was that I had a little pathway that eventually led you down here, where you could go in and get access to the skeleton spawner, which is always nice to have. It's a very nice little item to have in your world. Infinite arrows, infinite bones, XP, all that great stuff. As we move on to this other little dock over here, you can see you would hop into a boat and follow this path and say goodbye to that other world behind us. As you see the Minecraft sign passing by, we have a little miniature rest point there to trade boats and such. As we're still going by here, we're entering our next world, and this one is an extra special world, as we see a failed attempt at trying to access the Aether. If that doesn't tell you that this is one of those older style worlds, then I don't know what else will. Maybe the land generation, or the wackiness of some of these houses. But you'd follow your little route here to take you up to this dock. But that's not where we're going to start. We'll start here at the house that I had built for myself on this little map. And to tell you a little bit about this world before we get started touring it, this is my original world. Like, end all be all original world. Like, it does not get any more older than this. Like, this is the first actual Minecraft world I made, not including the tutorial world which I had explored. That tutorial world right over there. So we had played on this for a bit, and then actually starting your first open world, no tutorial to help you or anything like that, was this world. This is it. This is where the story of Minecraft began, you could say. What is that? I did not know this was down here either. But to get into this house, a fun little way to stick the door on here and climb up it like that. So there's that. And originally, before all this structure outside existed, it was this little thing that was sitting out here on this hill for an underground house. We'll go inside here in a second, but the outside's very basic, just a little wood structure. Then there's this weird, wacky, poor attempt at an elevator that takes you up to this little glass tower to kind of give you an overlook of the world. It was the best we could do at the time to build a little overlook tower besides something like that. A little more dangerous, that was. So this is what I would have lived in back in the original days of Minecraft. I have no idea what this was for. Maybe blowing something up, I'm not really sure. I know at some point we used to use redstone for like little blood trails and stuff, or blood droplets. But you come down into here and you get my lovely barren house. You see another theme, the theme continuing here of everything having poor decor going for it, where it's a very big, open, decently built house with hardly anything in it. We got our rooms here, a little tiny chest room, a bedroom with a bunch of beds, way too many beds than you'd ever need. A really weird, wacky doorway and an entrance. Not too much to say about it. Just kind of built it to have some sort of house. But I feel like back in the day, I more or less didn't care about like having my own personal house. It was more being involved with friends, doing things with your friends, helping friends, building stuff like that. It was, it just, yeah. But as you take a look over here, we've got our house sitting over here, some random cobblestone stuff. I think there's a mine somewhere around here. Somewhere there was a little mine shaft. I think it's down in here. Like there, yeah. It's a little mine hole. Went through caves and stuff that were under here. And we move over to this next little structure. This was Cameron's original house. As you can see, didn't really matter what it looked like, just as long as it existed as a house. This thing was great. I believe at one point he even somehow had a sand roof. Which may be the truth and it may not be. I don't even really know. I feel like in my mind that he did in fact have sand floors and roofs going in here. Which shouldn't be possible, but I swear it really felt like he did. I don't know how. If that's a real thing that could have happened at some point, that'll be amazing. But maybe I'm just remembering things super duper wrong. Giga basic house, nothing in it, just a couple floors, very crappily built, and then there's this water thing here that just kind of exists. No chest or anything because Cameron never trusted anybody with anything. Nobody was allowed to touch any of Cameron's items. Lovely. But moving on from there, you'll notice throughout this world, I won't like super hyper focus on it, but everywhere you'll just find little tunnels, little dug out tunnels where people mined up blocks and tunneled around and did certain random things like cover this hole in here but dig down and leave some stuff as a mine. The mine runs all throughout and little tunnels just everywhere, just all kinds of tunneling and mining and doing, as the game would say, mine. Don't know what happened here, some kind of creeper explosion, or why it's built out of sand, but this was supposed to be just a shooting range. It's a shooting range that me and my buddies from back in the day would have built. And it's pretty basic. Don't know what this little building up here was for. But yeah, just a random weird shooting range. And this was some kind of lookout tower to just kind of see out across the world, because worlds were very limited back then, so you could pretty much see everything if you got high enough up. But more creeper holes, explosions, dugout areas, random weird like chunky squarey digs and stuff. Just kind of all over the place. Like it's as nostalgic and classic as Minecraft can get. Just you and a bunch of friends just going ham, just ruining the world and doing things. I have little mine areas over here. Our first attempt at an actual type of chunk mine, which never got that very far. And then this is our first modern type house, as we would have called it. As modern as it gets for being actually a full-fledged house, which you'll understand what I'm talking about here in a second, but it's got a little dome thing on the outside. Then the main door to get in with a little hallway. Again, barren as can be. Absolutely nothing in here, pretty much. But it's got some rooms, some wacky, long, weird rooms, then one chest room with a bed in it. Whoever was staying in here. Somebody was living here at one point. Don't know who, but somebody was. But yeah, it's a very basic little cobblestone mansion type thing that exists. And then this little upper floor, which I think was supposed to be to like have archers and stuff, kind of be a little based off of that castle, the tutorial castle over there a little bit, how the way its inside was. And then another attempt at the Aether, which we honestly thought was a real thing at the time, from all the YouTube videos that were out surrounding the Aether and whatnot back then. But sadly we couldn't get it. Couldn't get that. Couldn't do. A bunch of random dirt houses as well. Got all these random dirt houses hiding around here. Serve pretty much no purpose. A big area where we were mining and digging and setting off TNT and all kinds of stuff like that. And another random little turd house. A lot of those here. A lot of underground living, as you guys will soon see. A little walkway, for some reason, that leads to this little dirt tower on a tree. And I think this was natural. Just a natural little cube in the ground. I wish I could get a hold of this actual seed. That would be nice. Like, see it untouched, the whole world. More caves and stuff. We had this really big wacky cave that ran underneath the house. A cake. There's a cake down here. We had this little dirt house thing that was floating above the water for some reason that ran off of our main house. And then this is some kind of wool art of like a turd, I guess. I don't know what this is. And then here's the original house build that we would have had. This is what we lived in, as well as you can see our little goofy portal here from when Bradley moved this world over. So now it just kind of looks like that. But this is like the main house that we would have had. We dug all this out and made it open to live in. And had like this extra room here with a back door to get out and such. And then our main way in. I think even Cameron had one of those other Moliosis tunnel things back here to get in and get access to the chests somewhere. I don't actually see a way to do that. It must have gotten plugged at some point. But we come in through here and we have our original house. The first house that we ever built. It's actually not too bad. And you see some of the chests are a little glitched. It's actually got a really unique, classic kind of design to it I like. And we got our beds. My original gamer tag. Tander's original gamer tag. And then the other two guys we played with. More goofy signs around. And then another little room back here. Don't know whose this was. Well, I guess it was a dog room at some point. Doesn't look like it though. Little exit hole. And this was our little original house. Let's dig up through here. We had this little fire roof thing. I guess just to look cool, I suppose. Now I'm just gonna kind of fly up here. There's a few more little spots to explore on this map before we move on. But you can kind of see where we explored from our torches here and there that run throughout the map. And then of course, from our dock we have another waterway which will take us to our next location. But a lot of our map for the rest of this world spans out this way, as we, I think we got into a bit of a fight at some point, and everybody just kind of took off to go live other places. And that's where this little tiny house here came from. Somebody had ran out here and built a little house to live in. As you can tell even by just the pork chops, how old the version was, because this was back before the food stacked. It's very cool. I like seeing that. A super duper basic house. Dirt roof, sand walls. And then there's two more things for us to see over here. There was this weird little attempt at what I think was going to be a house. And then like maybe some kind of dock. And then kind of like a bridge that takes you over this little sliver of an island or something here. And then you can see the world's edge, so there wasn't a whole lot to explore once you got over here, but we were going here for some reason. And then there's snow in the desert, of course. And then our last little structure to see is over here. I think you guys will enjoy this a little bit. It's actually supposed to be a Herobrine-based structure. Or something of that sort. Because that's around the time that we had discovered that sort of thing's existence in the Minecraft world. So you've got like the redstone torches around and this weird little house with a leave sign in it. And then like some random string and stuff out here and this little like closed up gate for you to access like the water and stuff from or something like that. But for some reason we never built like the actual little altar out here, which would have like been the icing on the cake for that whole thing. But you'd have no idea how nice it is to be able to have access to this world. I may not like convey it super duper well in my half zoned out explaining state, but honestly, this world, it's just a blessing to still have access to this. Being the first ever Minecraft world, that's just amazing. Because a lot of people usually delete things like this, or they lose their account, or they lose the console, or whatever they were playing it on, and it's just gone. But here it is, it's still here. Over 10 years later, pretty much. It's just amazing. Big thank you to Bradley, by the way. Because he's the one that was able to put all this together for me to have here. because I probably never would have taken the time to go through the editing stuff to put all this together. But moving on from that, we have another little waterway that you can follow over here. This is where things will be a little easier to get through here for showing you guys, as this next little structure would have been an entire town. We had an entire Java realm that we played on at one point, and this was just my house because Bradley didn't put like the entire like town that we built, but just like the house that I had built from it. And I kind of added on this little connection for the like ice path, and then our little by boat on the water type of thing. And this is my house. It's got the wall that runs around it. You can see like my building designs got a little bit better from their previous ones. We've got a little new Nether update styled house, because I believe when we started that realm was about around the time they dropped that new Nether update. So it was a good few years ago. We've got some little lanterns, some roads, pillars holding up this back half of the house. It's actually a really go-to design for my houses as of late, because it's the really simple. You build cobblestone stairs up, and then you put lava, let it drape, and then you put water, let it drape, and it just builds you a little like stairway tower thing. And then I just kind of run the stairs and stuff up around it and build some little rooms on it. It's like a quick, decent build to do that gives you an alright little house. And you run up the stairs here, and you got this little welcoming room. Then the chest room, of course, and we've got some different bips and boops in here. Don't know what happened with this window. I think somebody busted it and just fixed it. And we run up here to our second floor. This would be our bedroom with some other random things in here that I didn't fit on the main opening floor. And then a nice little balcony over here to overlook the area. And we would have had like an entire town that ran across through here. If you want to see more of that, you can go check out Bradley's channel to see that. And then we've got our little roof. And underneath here, in this little room, is where we would have our enchanting room. So it all kind of ties together neatly in this one little house. And it's not bad. It's one of my more favorite house designs to go to, one of my go-tos. And then we've got our little garden farm here, and then as well as a little pond. And then this would have been where I stored my horse, but he's gone. He's gone. He vanished when the world got flip-flopped over. And as for this little mine shaft, this originally would have just been for a cave, but as we move over from this to our next world to look at, you go in through that, and that'll take you out into here, which is a world that Bradley put in here for me that was called the TARDIS map. And this is where I would have built all my Doctor Who stuff from back in that era when I was super duper duper big into Doctor Who. So we'll take a look at this little thing here, which I think this one was supposed to be the 10th Doctor's TARDIS, like the interior that he had at the time. I don't know why. I was always so big on like the console thing and like seeing the insides of the TARDIS, the different versions of the inside. It was always cool. I always thought it was cool. And you can kind of see I went for like the glowstone to give it that little like appearance that it had for the walls. And then we've got this like the basic console design. I had even more intricate versions of this, which was on other maps, but those are long gone. This is kind of like what remains of that. And I think this is a second one over here, which we'll take a look at really quick. Of the same thing. Slightly different. It's got some redstone going in it. This is like, I think, a smaller version of the really nice one that I had, but that one is gone. It's big time gone. It was cool though. I don't know what happened or what world it was on. I know it was definitely on 360, but oh well. And then you can't see it, but underneath this entire area is the rest of the actual main TARDIS, which I had to do a lot of plugging work to make sure that you didn't fall into the void through here, because it was the actual end island that it was built on that he put into the game here. So if we go over to this little box here, a little police box, this will get us down into the main TARDIS of the map. So if you had been playing on that actual world, you would have gone through a TARDIS just like that with an end portal in it, and then it'd just kind of pop you out here on this little platform, and you'd be in the main TARDIS, which is inspired by the 11th Doctor, which was probably I would say my favorite, honestly. This is my favorite version of the TARDIS, when it had like that gothic type feel of it. So that's kind of what it's based on. It's got some bips and bops and whatnot here, and the little side tables and stuff. As well as like the underside. We'll get to the other rooms in a second, but it's got the underside with like the little opening thing or whatever it was supposed to be. I have no idea at this point, it's been so long. And a little tube that runs down underneath into like the mini corridors of the TARDIS itself, and some fake rooms to make it look like it goes on and on and on. But in fact, I did not stretch it that far. And we won't go through there yet, or there. We'll go to the library first and show you guys that. As well, we got some little orbs. There was some villagers that go around and make these light up in a ring, kind of like how it would do with the lights in the show. But we come in here and we've got our library. It's super basic. It's got a small little maze that goes through it here for you to find your way up and get access to this main opening area. And there's a little exit out here to get outside the map. There was a window for some reason too that I had in here, which kind of surprised me. I had no idea why there was a window just here, of all places. I don't remember doing that. But yeah, we got our little library there. We'll move on to this other side, which was also the exit. It runs you to the pool and some doors that you can't get through. Actually, the exit is super duper blocked off, really, because it's like up in the wall somewhere in here. Somewhere. But like, there was an opening at one point that ran through here, and there's another hallway tunnel thing. I should be able to get to it from somewhere. Right here. I had this big tunnel, and you follow it all the way back, and it would take you to the exit portal, which is no longer an exit. It just actually takes you to the real end now. But you get the idea. Gosh, who knows, like, talking for 2 hours straight would be this tiring. But there would be more lights through here. Something went wrong with the redstone, so we just kind of bust our way in here. But there's this long hallway that'd take you down to like an oxygen nature room, which had this other weird tube in the center, and some trees and such. And it'd let you see out into the void, but obviously we're in the overworld now, so the only void you're going to see is what I haven't plugged yet. This dangerous hole, which when you're in survival is not good. Falling in there would not be good. But it's there. You can see kind of how it got plopped into the world here some. The end island itself. There's that other little room, which is completely empty, following our theme here of building and not finishing. That open space again. And then there's one more area to show you guys. Well, actually, there's like this little side walkway that actually takes you down there as well. But you come into here, and this is Cameron's contribution to the TARDIS, which was like an art room, but there was with an extra added secret of having like these tunnels that lead you all throughout to let you explore and try and find your way through here, and eventually it takes you to some loot in Tandy fashion. But I won't bother with it. You get the idea. We'll zoom on out of here. We have this little redstone door, which takes you into what would have been like the little sun room. This is supposed to be like a sun. Some of this got screwed up over time from being put in here, probably from this lava. And it runs you down through here into this room, which is like a power kind of room, like an engine's. I want to say this is kind of like an engine room. And that leads you through this little area I showed here. And that's the whole shebang. Whole TARDIS. Did this probably around, I want to say 2013. 2013 to 2014. I spent probably about a good half a year to a year building that. Like building, tearing stuff down, building it again, doing different things with it. And here's its little connection, which takes us to our next location, which we're almost done. There's not a whole bunch of worlds, but it's like all the best things that we had over the years. Not including some things that we've lost that just couldn't get, like, found. Or some worlds that got corrupted that are, like, super gone. This is another one of my go-to houses, which was a Minecraft tutorial, how-to build type thing. I have no idea what the guy's name was. If I can find the video, then I'll link it if you guys want to have that build video for some random reason. But here it is, good old Gamer 2011's house. This again would have been in another one of Bradley's cities, which was another thing that we built that would have had a lot of walls around it, kind of like that place over there. But Bradley just gave me the house. Damn you, Bradley. But you can see I went for putting some more flags kind of along these light poles and stuff. And it doesn't look too bad. The house, there isn't a whole lot going on with it. At one point I had a little villager dungeon down here for trading. And our main room, which again, not super duper fleshed out, but a little better than some of the other places we've been into. And then the main work zone would have been out here on this little loft type deal with all of our loot in it. But yeah, it's a nice little cozy house. It's not super duper hard to build and it looks pretty decent. I always liked it. This was from, it was originally based on when I first built it in our DAV survival online adventures of playing on Minecraft servers, which is long gone. I did try to, at one point, like, get back onto that server, and if I could have been able to, we would have done a series, but from what I could tell on the guy's Discord server, it's kind of done for right now. Like, they aren't doing anything anymore, but he could open it again, so if that ever happens, we might play that. But likelihood of that happening is pretty slim. Pretty slim. And then that leads us back around to this little area here, where we started at, in the Resort of the North. So we'll take a lap around here before we touch on that little thing over there, the ice road. I'm sure you guys all noticed. We'll do one more lap around to kind of overview this area. We had Resort of the North World. Very old. This was like up there with the first Minecraft world, being like around the 2013 era. Lots of good times here. Oh, I didn't even mention this TARDIS. I mean, there's not much to see about it. It's just another portal, but it's a little TARDIS on a cloud. This is kind of there for anybody that was wondering about it. Just a little TARDIS, public call box, and the little end portal in it. Oh, and there's this extra little thing here, I guess, behind this wall. It's like a completely random, like, tunnel thing right here, which just looks super weird, but it just exists. So I might as well show it to you guys. But Resort of the North map. Very nice, very nice. The TARDIS map, very wacky. Kinda, I mean, it's nice to have, but not really caring much for Doctor Who anymore, and it just kind of being a hassle to have filled all this in and made it safe. Kinda doesn't feel worth it to keep, but it's here, I guess, so, you know. Java Realm house, just the house, as well as Bedrock Realm house / many different version house. Kind of the same with this thing, I guess. I don't know. It's a really wacky way of describing it, but we'll roll with it. Our first Minecraft tutorial world in all of its glory. Can't even believe that I still have this. Literally a blessing. But wonderful. Lovely little eyesore that it is. Way back there, or right over here, we got our first Minecraft tutorial world. Can't ignore it. Very nice. There's not a whole lot here, but it is in fact the entire tutorial world itself. And then our sad grunt boy, lonely, no internet Minecraft world. Just is kind of like a thing to have exist, I guess, for whatever reason. And that does it for all of our cluster of old grunt history. And then this one isn't exactly like history based, the one I'm about to show you, but it's something that I'm gonna start working on as like a whole new area pretty much, for me to like, you know, have as like my new home in the world, because it just doesn't feel right to like go around and like inhabit all these areas and like super duper advance them. I mean, I did it some with that place and like cleaned up a little bit of that one. There it is, the new house. I'll jump off here and you would follow up along the side of this hill, climb up through here onto this little bridge, which then leads up these stairs into this little kind of mine opening area, up more stairs into this little underground type enchanting room type thing, and like a little blacksmith area as well. And then around this little side area up here into our new home base on top of this mountain, this lovely snowy mountain. We have our new home base. Obviously, I'm sure you can tell this by looking at it, this is not a design at all that I came up with. Never, never, ever. I am not that creative anymore with Minecraft. But it's still nice to have a nice little lodge, like nice little whatever you want to call it here. Little bridge, little thinking tower to climb up into here. I love this little house design, it's so nice. The inside, we got this nice little view here you can check everything out from. The interior, in fact, though, is all me, because obviously a lot of tutorial videos for building houses, they don't do interior decorating, they let you kind of run that. And I think it turned out pretty good. I followed kind of the idea of having all this stuff jut out more. And it looks pretty decent, I like it. It's not too bad. Little furnace. All that good stuff. And our little main entrance with this big weird door. A little shop type deal. We'll get a little pan of it. Look at that. Gorgeous house. It's great. The little flag, that was my added touch. Well, yeah, this is probably where I'll continue the adventure if we ever come back to this world for some survival exploration, as I still need to start over in the Nether since it got wiped. I still need to defeat the Ender Dragon, fight the Wither, all that great stuff. And we might do that if I go ahead and continue Minecraft on the channel. If not, and this ends up being a one-off, just kind of little history-having video, then that's just fine too. To this bridge, which is where I've been doing my most recent building work. This little bridge here, where I'm kind of gonna work on like a Skyrim styled like area, because that's just kind of what I like building in Minecraft as of late. I just like having the old styled stuff. I think it looks cool. I think it's fun. I haven't done too much with it, obviously, yet, but I'm kind of gonna use, like, the Minecraft, like, version they made of, like, the Skyrim map. You know what I'm talking about, on, like, the mashup. And kind of use that to, like, build my little town here. But yeah, that concludes our tour. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was nice to finally get it done. I know it wasn't probably 100% perfect like it could be, but it's better to have something than nothing at all, kind of. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Smash a like if you enjoyed. Let me know if you guys want to see me play more on this world as I continue from this house here onward with my my adventures to go and do the Minecraft things. Or maybe I'll start a new world and do like a hardcore playthrough, which I thought about doing a long time ago, many moons ago, and never did. But I might do that at some point. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here before my voice completely fails me, because it feels like it's attempting to, because I've been talking for so many hours straight. But this video should be out at some point. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notifications bell so you never miss an upload. Drop some likes if you enjoyed this video. I probably already said this again, but, you know, bear with me. It's been a while. And, as we just take a look at this nice, beautiful little home here, I will say goodbye for now, and I will see you in whatever video comes out next.